So we have some shocking breaking news that is unfolding right now on what is currently the largest operating cruise ship on planet Earth, Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. We have a crew member that has been injured and is in need of medical care that they cannot get on the ship, so they have to be medically evacuated to get the care on land that they need. We also have a horrific story unfolding right now of a 19-year-old that has allegedly jumped off or fell off of the cruise ship. There is currently a search underway. We also have a family member of the passenger that is reaching out on social media to find people on board in order to get any information that they can about their loved one. Just to be clear here before we get started, all the information that I'm going to be talking about in this video is coming from friends of mine that are crew on board Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. I've also had passengers that are currently on board that have been reaching out to me and giving me all the updated information that they've been receiving via Instagram and emails as well. And of course, I've been hanging out as usual in the forum, specifically the one for this specific sailing. Also keep in mind that these stories are developing, so that means that things as far as the details could change at any point in time. And of course, should there be an update, I will make another video letting you guys know what's going on. So Wonder of the Seas, which is a relatively new ship, a year and a half old, holds 7,000 passengers and crew, is currently in the process of completing a 7-day sailing out of Port Canaveral, Florida, going over to the Caribbean. On Monday, it was at its private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay, over in the Bahamas, a sea day yesterday, and on yesterday at approximately 8 p.m., an alarm sounded of Code Oscar. For those of you that don't know the lingo and terminology, Code Oscar is the code for man overboard. The staff on board Wonder of the Seas immediately began a search. They searched for 3 hours until the Coast Guard got there. That's typically how these types of situations goes. When somebody goes overboard, the first thing the staff and the captain on board do is call the Coast Guard once they arrive. If the Coast Guard needs them to aid in the search, they will. If not, and in most cases, they will tell them to continue on with their route. But also at that same time, allegedly there's an entertainer that got injured somehow and is in need of medical care. So the ship is heading currently over to the Cayman Islands. They are expected to arrive there today, where from what I'm hearing, the parents of the 19-year-old will be disembarking, as well as the injured entertainer. While all of this is developing, there is a woman that has showed up on social media by the name of Savannah Ropick. She claims to be the older sister of a man, the 19-year-old man that has allegedly gone overboard, saying his name is Sigmund Ropick, and she is begging everybody to give any information, as well as just kind of spread the news, because what she is worried about is how long the search will be going on for before it is called off. For those of you that don't know, whenever somebody does go overboard, I often say it is like finding a needle in a haystack. It's very difficult to find people. You also have to take into consideration right now we are dealing with a couple storms, well, hurricanes, one over in the Atlantic and one over in the Gulf of Mexico as well, that the cruise ships have to kind of navigate around to avoid. And well, we're talking about some pretty rough waters in a lot of areas. And typically when there is a search for a man overboard, woman overboard, it usually lasts between about 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours at the very most, before it is called off by local authorities like the Coast Guard. Apparently Sigmund, the 19-year-old man that has gone overboard, was on a cruise with his friends. Once again, nobody knows exactly what has happened except maybe the staff on board Wonder of the Seas, because there is CCTV footage, camera footage, as well as man overboard detection systems on most modern cruise ships. They probably have all of the information, but a conundrum that is going on right now is that a lot of people are trying to figure out, why is the sister having to go on social media to get any ounce of information on what's going on? Personally, I believe the blunt and simple answer is this: whenever there is an emergency, whether it be on land or at sea, as you can imagine, for maybe some of you out there that have had a relative, a loved one, a friend that has had a life-threatening situation, maybe they have to have emergency surgery taking place, you don't see a doctor or a spokesman or a police officer coming out every 5 minutes and giving you a play-by-play. They want to see everything through. That way there is no potential for doubt or panic or anything of that nature. They want to see all of it develop, and then they will give the information to the loved one or whoever needs that specific information on what is going on. Of course, my prayers and hopes go out to both injured parties, the man that has gone overboard as well as the entertainer. When it comes to the search, I do hope that this passenger that has gone overboard, especially if he is truly a teenager at 19 years old, I hope he has found a lot of life to live. This definitely hits home for a lot of people. It's extremely tragic and sad, and nobody likes hearing about these things. But as I always say, we do live in the real world and things do happen. It's not the cruise line's fault. You have to understand, there are 7,000 passengers and crew if it's at full capacity right now. You can imagine the size of a small city. Something unfortunately is bound to happen at some point in time. We just hope that it is something that isn't as extreme as a man overboard like we're seeing right now. Either way, this is what we got so far as the story and its developments. I will give you guys an update whenever we hear what is actually going on. I'm also currently on board the MSC Seascape. My ship will be in the Cayman Islands tomorrow over in Grand Cayman, and well, if we see Wonder, of course I will try to get as much information as I can and updates. But of course, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Hit that like button on your way out. Know as usual, I love each and every one of you. I'll see you later. Take it easy.